Few games can amass such a beloved following as Team Ico's two juggernauts, Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. Originally released on the PlayStation 2 in 2001, Ico achieved a cult-like status right out of the gate. Its spiritual prequel, Shadow of the Colossus, saw release in 2005 and received a similar reception. In 2011, both games were remastered in high definition for the PlayStation 3. This review will focus more on the remastered version of Shadow of the Colossus, which at large was the exact same game as seen on PS2 with a few appreciable changes. Immediately noticeable is the higher resolution and widescreen. The open world exploring becomes wide open with this enhancement. The remaster also fixes much of the sketchy pop-up and naggy framerate issues that plagued the original, producing a previously unseen fluidity on horseback and smoother climbing in boss battles. Cosmetically, not much has changed, but aside from a few muddy textures and blocky polygons, Shadow on PS3 looks like it belongs on a PS3. Truly a testament to both timeless art direction and the benefits of enhancing old games for the modern era. The only low point to mention of this remaster is that the grip controls have been tinkered with, causing the character to struggle with footing noticeably more often than on the original. The story behind Shadow of the Colossus can best be described as both minimalist and mysterious. Wanderer, the protagonist, has traveled on horseback into what is known as the Forbidden Land. He arrives at a temple carrying a lifeless young girl who has been sacrificed for unknown reasons. Wanderer lays her on her slab and catches the attention of a formless entity known as Dorman, who speaks to Wanderer from above. Wanderer questions Dorman about the myth concerning resurrection of the dead in the Forbidden Land. It is then explained that to be granted this power, one must kill monolithic idols known as the Colossi. Wanderer agrees to the task, showing no concern for anything other than resurrecting the girl. The narrative portion of Shadow is exclusive to the beginning and the ending. The gameplay itself becomes the storyteller, expecting the player to fill in the blanks as to what is going on. This minimalist approach probably could have been fleshed out more, but it is what it is and it works. Ancient sword in hand, Wanderer sets off to slay each one of the Colossi. The game pattern works as follows. You, Wanderer, hop on your trusty horse Aggro, and using your ancient sword in your possession, you track down and kill one of well over a dozen Colossi. The sword can be used to pinpoint the vague location of the target Colossi, but since it requires sunlight, this must be done in well-lit areas. Once you approach the general vicinity of a Colossi, a small panning cinematic will trigger indicating that you're near the target. In order to reach and then battle these beasts, you must climb, hang, crawl under, and jump over many different obstacles. The objective is simple, but the method can be a bit of a conundrum. The first order of business is to figure out how to even approach the Colossi. Looking for an easily attainable ledge or mat of fur on its body can give you a good visual map of where to begin. If you equip your ancient sword, you can actually pinpoint the weak point of the Colossi, giving you further direction in how to slay the giant. Attacking the limbs of a Colossi, this first Colossi for example, gives Wanderer an opening to further his expedition up the walking monolith. Press triangle to jump and hold R1 to grip to scale the beast. A grip circle meter on the bottom right signifies how long you have to hang on at one given time. This presents a major facet of the gameplay, and you'll quickly learn how important grip conservation will be. Falling a great distance off means starting over from scratch. Dramatic music provides an audio cue that you're reaching your destination. The Colossi will give Wanderer a short amount of time to recover his grip strength, as climbing all the way to the top takes up a lot of it. Adhere to the attempts to shake you off and plan rest periods accordingly. Shadow can become quite discouraging with its grip controls unless you retain a high level of patience and accept that, yes, you will fall and you will lose progress. The vital point of a Colossi is exposed once you approach it. This is the weak point Wanderer must jab his sword into, but beware, it turns out they don't like getting stabbed directly in the head very much. Hold on tight, rest, and stab, stab, stab to release the black blood-like substance within the beast, and he'll fall. After the death cinematic, the player has brief control over Wanderer before a mysterious substance engulfs him. He awakens back in the temple and the Colossus monument explodes into rubble. Dorman then hints at where to find the next Colossi. You'll travel far and wide and will most likely get lost along the way trying to locate your next target. Shadow is just as much about the exploration of the land as it is about the destination itself. Sometimes you'll wind up quite literally treading water on your quest to the next Colossi. There is a routine feeling though that in your many treks, they rarely have any altering weather variables, and you always seem to leave the temple with the exact same sunny conditions each time. That said, the architecture of the world will keep the repetitious journey from becoming too prosaic. The land can be of vital use in certain boss battles. A huge colossi with an equally huge stone sword will crush you if you mistime your getaway. However, let him hit the slab on the ground and off goes his protective armor, enabling you to use his own sword as a platform to climb up his body. Later, you'll fight a smaller colossi that burrows underneath the sand. His weak point is vague, and many futile attempts to slow him down may result in a long battle with no progress. He'll try just about anything, such as making him bang his head against the rocks, but no dice. Dorman will drop hints after a while, and if you take his advice, you'll come to realize that this one cannot be won without your horse. Eventually, he'll rear his head out of the sand to reveal a pair of eyes. An arrow to the retina does the trick to expose his vital point. It's a creative change of pace from the vertical ascent. Other pace changers include the aerial contentions in the sky. Wanderer will hang on for dear life as the winged bird-like colossi flies full force, sideways and upside down. This fight is one of many cinematic showcases to bestow in Shadow of the Colossus. You'll have to travel all the way to the tail of the creature to reveal his vital point, but unlike some of the earlier colossi, this vital eventually goes away prematurely. The new vitals are on his wings, making this an unforeseen, perilous struggle to finish. Things take a turn for the worse when you have no stamina and the winged colossi leaves you helplessly dangling from his wing. A loss of grip sends Wanderer back down to the cold waters below. There's something to be said about the great beauty of the varied landscapes in Shadow of the Colossus. The game world is unbelievably massive feeling, partly due to the fact that it is, as well as the fact that you're the only one scouring these ancient lands. It's especially impressive to see a PlayStation 2 game, although shown here on PS3, with such well-executed casted shadows and lighting that pushes the system to its absolute limit. Whether it's the sandy desert areas, the open plains, lakeside, or through the ambient forest, this game bleeds soul. Part of the fun is just seeing what else is out there. While you're exploring the land, you'll come across fruit-bearing trees. Your bow and arrow can pierce the fruit, and upon eating it, you'll extend your life bar. Similarly, there are also small animals in the land. The main ones of note are the lizards. You can find them anywhere, but the rare white-tailed lizards increase your stamina. Shadow of the Colossus is notable in so many ways, but perhaps most alluring of all is the musical score. It channels the emotions of the epic encounters emphatically. After completion, you'll be able to re-experience the game through time trial boss battles that unlock new items and weapons. It would have been more beneficial to hide these items in the game world, but if you're up for the challenge, they're certainly there. When all the dust settles, Shadow of the Colossus is an emotive, groundbreaking adventure deserving of its high reputation.